Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Steve Halton. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got a couple of businesses in the hemp scope or cannabis scope of the industry. So I back in 20 was it 2016, I think it was. I wanted to grow hemp fiber under my ag business. It's called Halton Hay, but it also goes under the name 50 Sheds of Hay, which is a fun name. Um, but anyways, I went for the licensing to grow high grade textile grade fiber, but when I went for the application, Department of Ag and Markets told me that there were no processors for that kind of hemp. So my wheels got spinning. Excuse me, I think it was July, and I was trying to think if I wanted to be a processor, and honestly, I just wanted to be I want to do it part time. I thought because a lot of my hay customers were sheep or alpaca farmers, and a lot of the sheep farmers were actually throwing the wool away. And after decortication or separating the fiber from the herd of the stalk in hemp, the process is pretty much the same. And I thought what I could do is I could process the wool in the spring when they shear the sheep and be able to help create a market for them, and then I can do hay all summertime and then be able to do hemp in the wintertime. So it was just hemp was supposed to be a part-time thing, and I had done a lot of research in a lot of different products, and I was heating my house with pellets. So I wound up getting the license to process hemp, and I started doing a lot of research with making heat pellets, which we did. We did have a lot of success doing it, but it's really not cost effective. I mean, it's really cool, but I don't care how cool it is to heat your house with hemp. There aren't too many people that are going to be able to pay that amount of money to be able to heat their house with hemp. I mean, it is great because the ash content so much lower. I think it's anywhere from like 2 to 5% ash. So it burns a lot cleaner. The BTUs are comparable. It was a great product, but it was like 3 times the price of wood. So until the hemp industry could really catch up to a lot of that, I mean, it's still something we have on the back burner that we'd like to do because there's a few proprietary things that we ended up working on making that go together. But I mean, I found an investor to help me get my business going, and it was great. I mean, it was a process, and I remember going around looking for that initial money to try to get the seed money to start the whole thing, and it was tough. I actually got turned down so many times. I started the group on Facebook, the New York Hemp Growers and Processors Group. Geez, that was probably right in the beginning of 2018, maybe. Yeah, I think it was in 2018. I started that group, and I met a lot of interesting people. It kind of seems like you have to be an interesting character just to be in the hemp industry. I mean, if you're not a little kooky, you don't belong here. Also, if you're looking to get rich, you're in the wrong industry. But anyways, I was shooting for investment, and I kept getting shot down. And there was a couple of people I had talked to in that group that had asked me a lot of questions. Like I want to grow hemp next year. What kind of crop should I put in? And I've always been a big one to do clover, as like a heavy clover field, because that legume will pull a lot of nitrogen out of the air and put it back into the soil. Because hemp needs a lot of nitrogen. You're getting a sustainable crop that you can put in and be able to harvest for a couple of years, but then you're putting those nutrients back into the soil so you can save on your fertilizer costs when you get into it. Anyways, that could be a whole different video. Um, but I'd gotten shot down 3 times in one day, and I talked to one of the guys. I had my tail between my legs, and I just felt like I had been getting kicked constantly. And I talked to someone in the group that I had been talking to about hemp for a long time, and I said, "Hey, man, do you know anyone that wants to invest in the hemp industry?" And they said, "Well, yeah, that's why I've been, that's why I want to meet you." So one thing kind of led into another, and I ended up getting getting the funding and getting the first facility, and for the longest time I was completely against vertical integration. You know, I always wanted to help farmers just because I'm a farmer first. But it was also tough because even though it was a new and hot thing, nobody really wanted to grow it. I tried to get so many people to grow, and I mean, logistics is a pain. It's expensive. So I did end up getting licensed through my farm business to be able to grow, and and I've always been about education. I've done a lot of stuff. I've worked with SUNY Morrisville on and Cornell with multiple different research projects. I mean, I love the educational aspect. I love being able to work with people and being able to do research. I mean, there's so much research that needs to be done with this whole business and with the industry and building infrastructure. I mean, like it's there's just so much that needs to go into it, and I just love the R&D work. It's actually turned into my favorite thing, and that's one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel. That and my kids. So if you can, please go down, whatever, like, subscribe. That would be awesome. Share, make me look like a superhero to my kids because, honestly, they're my main inspiration for this whole thing. My father used to always tell me that he didn't know what he wanted to be when he grew up until he became retired. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up until I became a dad. Like I love being a dad. I love doing all the stuff with the kids. They get excited about what I do, what I mean, and especially like the YouTube things, like all their friends in their classes think I'm some kind of YouTube star, so they get all excited when I come in for the parties. I mean, this is pre-COVID. And hopefully we can get back there. That would be great because COVID was a pain. I mean, 2019 was a tough year. I mean, 2019 was when I first opened my first facility. That was a 5,000 square foot facility, and it was a nightmare. I mean, it was tough. That with the stigma around it, and then even just getting all the renovations done. I mean, the ribbon cutting was at 8 o'clock in the morning in the beginning of January, and I remember at 9 o'clock at night, the night before, we literally had contractors finishing up a few things, and we even had the water association just finally turning on the water because they signed off on our stuff. I mean, how can I have a ribbon cutting without a bathroom, without any water? So, we did do that, and then it was a tough year. I actually had a few issues with that facility and that location, and we had to move out of there, and then moved into another location, and then had to move out of there. I mean, it was just a constant struggle, But I always held my head pretty high. At the end of 2019, I actually had a lot of personal issues. Some unexpected things happened in my life, and I always feel that growth is painful, and definitely had some painful things happen, but I embrace them. I embrace the growth. I love that. So, not that I enjoy pain or anything like that. I mean, although the 50 sheds of hay, you never know, right? And so, anyways, I originally wanted to get into the hemp fiber, but I noticed that a lot of people were doing a dual purpose. So you grow grain and fiber from the same crop. And at that time, I was all about a dual purpose. So I decided pressing oil. So we started doing hemp seed oil, and I did research with the byproduct, the seed cake, different products that we can make out of that. We were doing R&D work with making an animal feed, which we actually had some pretty good success. Anyone that wants to work with me on that one, feel free to email me or anything like that. You can find me through the CNY Hemp Processing page. Again, there was just a couple of issues. We were, I was kind of doing things with family, and it was tough. So we had to do a little bit of a change in that. And then, actually also at the end of 2019, ended up buying a larger facility, or leasing a larger facility. We went to a 12,000 square foot facility. a much better landlord, which also has a retail space. So now I had been doing consulting, and to be honest with you, I cringe at the word consulting or consultant, especially in hemp or cannabis. I mean, I feel like there are so many people that have grown pot in their closet and call themselves a consultant, where there's so much to this. And, I mean, I've mentioned logistics. Man, logistics is a huge one. So if there's any truckers out there that are watching this that want to start a logistics company for the hemp and cannabis, please, we need you. I mean, banking's been tough, but even that, we got to wait until more FDIC regulations are loosened up as far as that goes. But you know, so so anyways, as I was going around doing a lot of consulting, everyone would ask, geez, I'd love to have a bucker or a planter or a transplanter or a harvester or a decorticator, that machine that separates the fiber and the herd. Oil presses or extraction stuff or hemp clothing or CBD. So kind of had the idea for a store. So we started My Hemp Depot. So I am a co-founder in My Hemp Depot. And really just trying to, again, build the industry and the infrastructure. We tried to focus a lot on New York State products, which there are a ton of great New York State products. And I know that some of the regulations can make things like really, really tough. But, honestly, with those regulations, some of the best products in the United States come out of New York State. And that's not just me being biased. I mean, that's genuinely, some really great products. There's some really great people. I mean, there's some small businesses and growing businesses that are making awesome stuff, and there's brand new products that have never been made before. So, really looking forward to My Hemp Depot. That should be opening up soon, and and then there's a few more things that we have up and coming. But I really wanted to do just kind of a short video and introduce myself. Don't mind the fact that I'm in a hotel room. I do a lot of traveling for work. Obviously COVID friendly. So, but again, make sure that you subscribe, share the videos. Get the word out. You can find me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Steve_Halton, HALTON. CNY Hemp Processing is on there. My Hemp Depot. Also on Facebook. Tons of groups. I'd mentioned the New York Hemp Growers Processors. I also have a New York Hemp Grain, hay, grain, and hemp marketplace to try to make it a normal agricultural commodity. And there's other groups and other pages that are kind of up and coming. So stay tuned, and hopefully we can grow the hemp industry together. And and if you have any questions, again, feel free to put them down below. Either I'll personally answer them, or maybe we can do another video. If I get more followers, I guess, on Instagram, maybe I'll start doing some live videos or something, so you can ask me questions in real time. So thank you again for your support, and thank you for listening to my spiel and supporting my companies. Thank you.